and imparting a loathsome odor to what remained. When the Argonauts landed, Phineas, now an old man with wrinkled, papery skin, tottered out to meet them.
We have 2 in our number that will rid you of the horrid harpies.
Jason told him in return for the promise of helpful advice. At a banquet prepared especially for the visitors, the opportunity came. A horrid flapping and loathsome penetrating odor announced the arrival of the harpies. Calais and Zets, swords in hand, flew up to them and began a pursuit that took them far into the distance, never to return. This left only 46 Argonauts. From Mount Olympus, Hera and Athena were watching with intense interest the exploits of their favorite mortal Jason. They knew that the king of Colchis, Aedes, would not readily allow him to take the golden fleece. Thus, they decided that Medea, the king's bewitching daughter, should be persuaded to help Jason. The first step was to make her fall in love with him, and for this purpose they sought the aid of the love goddess herself. Aphrodite agreed to do her best. Aphrodite had a son called Cupid. She approached him as he was shooting dice with a friend and cheating him.
Cupid, my son, place an arrow of love into Medea.
Yes, mother, I will.
By this time, Jason had arrived at the same place and had entered the palace of King Aeetes. At first, the Argonauts were treated to warm baths and a banquet. But when Jason had revealed the purpose of his visit, Aeetes became rigid with rage.
Leave my kingdom before I have your tongue torn out and your hands lopped off. You seek no fleece but the realm and throne of Caucasus.
But Jason made a soothing reply, assuring the king that he had but one aim, to obtain the golden fleece, and Aeetes changed his tone.
Let us see first if you are worthy of such the prize as the golden fleece. Two bulls with golden hooves and breath of fire. In the span of one day I yoked the bull, plowed the field of ours, and sowed the furrows with a dragon. Teeth from these teeth, armed warriors sprang up, and I killed them all, only if you can do as well as I have a right to the golden fleece.
Jason was at first speechless, but gathering his courage, he replied,
Necessity impels me to accept your terms.
Harsh terms they were, and Jason might well have been doomed had it not been for the activities of Cupid. He had just arrived, and as soon as he spied Medea, he let fly an arrow. As she stood watching Jason pronounce these words, the shaft entered her heart, right up to the feathers. Medea, now suffering the extremest agonies of love, gazed at him with troubled heart. She knew at once that she would have to choose between loyalty to her father and love for Jason. For Medea possessed a magic ointment which, if smeared on the hero's body, would protect him from the blows of the bronze hooves and from the searing flames which issued from the mouths of the bulls. In the night, Medea was afflicted by dreams in which Jason seemed to have come to carry her off as his bride. And she awoke, determined to offer him aid. 4 times Medea tried to go to him, and 4 times, feeling of guilt, prevented her. The ache of Cupid's wound and the realization of her disloyalty brought her close to committing suicide. She picked up a casket of poison. The dread of death struck her, and then a vision of the delights of life. She put away the poisons, took up the magic ointment, and went to Jason. When she found him, she was at first powerless to speak. for her eyes were held captive by the sight of him. Tenderly she placed the magic ointment in his hands and told him how he should proceed in the morrow.
When you go away,
Mr. Piquet?
remember me. Remember that I saved your life, for never shall I cease to think of you.
From the first, Jason had been dazzled by the witch maiden's beauty, but now his heart had melted.
You shall come with me to Iolcus and live there with me.
At dawn, Jason faced the bulls. Bracing his legs and holding high his shield, he awaited the onslaught. With hoofs gleaming and nostrils breathing forth streams of fire, the beasts flew at him. The shock of collision did not move Jason, nor did the flames singe his body, for Medea's charms did their work. Grasping the bulls by their thorns,